my index right now is a 9.8. So it's what a lot of people call a very dangerous handicap. Uh, Chad
I've,
has,
I've I've gambled with you before. It's very dangerous.
Chad has suffered the consequences of that handicap.
It's time for the Vanity Index, powered by JLab. I'm Wells Adams. I'm alongside
Chad Mum in the house, baby.
who's a bit hungover right now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now. Listen, we had a friend of the podcast.
That's what I'm saying. It was a segue into, it's not your fault this happened.
I don't know if I want to talk about being hungover on the internet, but here we go. We're ripping the Band-Aid off.
You're an adult and it happens.
That's true. Every once in a while I get a little banged up. But last night was the Jordan Davis show at the Greek.
Yeah.
So friend of the pod, Jordan Davis, went out to watch a little country music. I will say LA gets up for country. Like I saw a lot of cowboy hats and boots. I'm like, you bought that for this. Not authentic Western wear, really. But Jordan was great. Like he crushed it. And like I knew he was a big star, but seeing him with a sold out Greek theater, like you're like, oh, he's like a big star. And it's cool too, because like a lot of the country guys will do like, the cowboy hat and whatever. But he almost looked like Post Malone, like a cool beard, no hat. And like tattoos and just absolutely like let it rip. It was cool. It was cool as hell.
There's nothing better than seeing a show at the Greek. That's like one of my favorite venues in the world, and that guy seems awesome. I'm bummed I missed the show, and I'm bummed because we said we were gonna take him out to the club and have some beers, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, he had a bunch of other stuff happening while he was in LA. I'm assuming like press stuff, but because he's supporting the new album, so they couldn't do it this time, but. He did tell me that they have a mobile simulator that they bring on the road with them. And so I went early to try and see it. And he was like, oh, yeah, we didn't set it up because that shit takes too long. So we were too busy. So they really were busy. Maybe they're just lying to me. I don't know. But
that's some golf sicko stuff right there, to be traveling with your own freaking rig like that.
Yeah, you bring your own simulator. Like that is, I mean, I thought he was a golf sicko from just hearing about how they schedule their events and where he plays based on, the golf, but even when that isn't an option, they just got the simulator they can go hit. So it's awesome. I'm excited.
I'm excited about today's show. We are going to have what I assume is going to be the tallest person we've ever had on the show in Pau Gasol who another golf sicko. Famously in the golf world, he was the guy who was putting the medals on the winners at the Olympics, which is very, very cool.
So cool.
And they're all up on pedestals, and he didn't even need like a step stool. He was just like
this is the eye level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to talk with him and pick his brain about golf. I wanted to start the show with something that I saw on the internet and I agree with wholeheartedly, and I want to get your take. You're far removed from, playing munis and riding in carts, but there are a lot of the VIPers out there who still have to live like
where are you going with this?
Some of us still, we're not playing top 100 courses. All right, Chad?
Fair enough.
And someone was complaining about how if you're playing at a golf course and you have to pay for a cart, that like whoever paid for the cart, the guy who's riding with him shouldn't have to also pay for the cart. It should be one cart fee.
Right.
And I don't know why they're nickel and diming us, but it seems egregious.
So the idea here, and I've seen this on the internet as well, is that if you are playing at a course that charges a cart fee, it's, call it $25 for a cart fee. If you're a single or you're a threesome or something, you have your own cart, it's $25. If you have a rider with you, it's $50.
Yeah.
It's like another $25. And so the cart rental fee, the thesis here is it should be like a car rental. Like there's a cost to rent the cart. And there you go. Here's the problem with that though. What if they just raised it to $50 for a cart? So then you're like a single and you're paying the cart fee.
I mean,
is that better?
No, it's worse. But I just it makes no sense that okay, I got there first. I'm driving, so that means I'm paying for the cart. You can hit me back, whatever. And then they go in there and then they're getting charged for the cart. But you're riding, it's just one cart. You know what? Why
That's
don't you?
true.
What's from stopping me from saying I'm going to walk and then on 2 jump on the cart?
Well, that's what I used to do when I was, in my old life. The old life, I used to do that as a kid all the time. I used to like sneak carts out, and I had friends that were like cart boys, and they'd leave one for me on like the second hole, and ride it back, and then you'd leave it in the woods, on the eighth green, that kind of thing, and then they'd come pick it up.
Let's talk about bringing beer on the course or bringing booze in the course.
So I heard, Vinny, I think, brought this up to me. So we had Vinny Gabrielli on the show the other day, our head of finance for Pro Shop. He was breaking down Harry Higgs's, winnings for the year. He told me that he had learned in some other sort of golf research that just adding a cooler to your golf carts as a like golf carts, you have coolers on it. It increases your alcohol sales by like some meaningful amount, like 10 or 20%.
So if it's on the cart already.
Yeah. So like if you're a public course and you've got carts that you rent, if they're just normal and there's no cooler, your alcohol sales are baseline. But if you add a cooler to all your carts, your sales go up like 10 or 20% of alcohol, because people like pre-buy and they load up the cart, so that's why a lot of carts these days, have coolers. And I'm assuming because they're trying to maximize revenue, Wells, which is, I assume, also why they charge 2 cart fees. And it's not a rental fee for the cart. It's a fee to ride because it's an amenity, and they can charge you for an amenity because they're trying to make more money to keep those greenskeepers, fed.
So do you think it's bad form to bring your own booze to the course?
I think most courses frown on that.
Of course they do. There's a sign usually being like no outside beverage, and everyone's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, no, I think you're fine. I've never felt guilty doing that.
I only feel guilty when the cart girl comes around and I'm drinking like a Miller High Life, and they don't sell
Just
that.
very obviously.
Yeah, like we don't even
beer that
sell
they don't.
this, dude. So I have here's my take on it. My theory. Mm-hmm. I think it's okay if someone in the group brings some booze and shares with everyone. But if you do that, I think you still do need to get something at the turn or get something from the girl. Yeah. Because that does seem a little rude, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think that go patronize the facility. They got water bills. They got to pay the staff. I think it's good. Here's a random question that just popped in my head. But did you ever work at a golf course?
Yes, I did.
Which one did you work at?
The Carmel Valley Ranch.
Oh, amazing. What did you do?
Track. I was a bag boy.
Okay.
So like people
that's not like a caddy, but
no, there was no caddies there. Right. So it was, people would drive up and I'd run up and get their bags and I'd take it down and I'd put it on a cart. And then I was also the range boy.
Oh, the picker.
I was a picker.
Oh yeah. Pickers.
Which I got to be honest with you, dude, one of my jobs is I make drinks in a place called Paradise and they pay me for it to be on TV. Being a range boy was the best job I've ever had, and it's not even close.
It's the best job. Yeah, just cruising out there, put some music on.
Oh, so it was like it was right in the beginning of MP3 players coming out. I had one with like 36 songs.
Yeah,
I would may or may not have smoked something, and then I would go drive around and pick up balls.
Oh my god,
it was the best job ever.
I did that job too. I was a cart boy as well. Did you get tips? Like, were you cleaning clubs when they came back too?
Yes, and then you get tips.
Some tips from that. Yeah, that was always awesome. So I was a cart boy, which I loved. But then when you got to pick the range, it was great. The only downside to picking our range was there was a communal dip cup like in the cart that like the other boys who were older, like the older guys who were like graduate from high school, they were like, they were not in college, but they were college aged. They were like adamant of like, do not touch my dip cup. But it was like communal, which is the most disgusting thing ever. It was this huge styrofoam cup that they would get from the restaurant, and it just would slosh around in there, and you'd like it get fuller and fuller, and you'd be like, there's this one little hill that you went over, and when it would splash, you'd have to like get your feet up out of the air because that was disgusting. But the other thing we used to do because you would do like a manual pick, which was my favorite. So every once in a while, I think it was like once a week, because they would cut the range, so you have to manually pick it. So you do the sweep with the cart picker, and then you got
the workhorse,
right?
Yeah.
And then you get we had these little like ball picker uppers that were just like just long tubes,
yeah.
And so what we got really good at is you'd pick one ball in the tube, and then you could like sling it like a whip it at somebody out the other end, and like got really good at it because you kind of have to let it slide down and start rolling, but then you could just whoom, and you could spin it, like you can get it to like curve and draw. And so then we basically figured out that you could like do that and essentially pitch to the other guy who would use the tube as a baseball bat to just like wail on the ball. And it was the most satisfying sound. Like, and of course it did, dent up the pickers, but yeah, I got really good at slinging, single solo shots. And so I could like, my buddy was on the picker. I'd literally like get one of those things, pop one in and just bang, like hit the cart, the cage on the cart. And then he'd spill his dip cup everywhere. It was great.
We played range golf cart football, and so someone would drive and then someone would be quarterback, and we'd all go out on the range with the football and like run and like drive routes.
Oh god, it's so dangerous.
The fact that they let us do any of this is bonkers to me.
It was crazy how little oversight we had. But then again, did I tell you the story about our assistant pro who kind of ran all the cart boys and stuff? He was like the mafia guy.
No.
Oh my god. So that's why. Like I swear to God. So I grew up. This is like a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. Like a not a nice private club. It was sort of a club system. Very kind of. I think it was Club Corp. Anyway, so we had this assistant pro, and he was just so obviously like in witness protection from the mafia because he was this like slick New Jersey, New York guy. He said, use guys, that kind of guy. And he, hair slicked back, super Italian. His name was Vinny, and he just showed up one day and was like, I'm working at I'm working a pro shop, and like barely knew anything about golf, I felt like. And he was there for the year that I worked at that course. But my favorite story about him, he just didn't care what we did. It was just like, keep your head down. And he would be like, whatever. But one day, a member came in and there was like a big water moccasin on the 8th green. And so the maintenance people were like not around. And so they were freaking out because they had like kids with them and they were like, we got to get rid of this snake. And so he's like, it's no problem, So he goes out to his car and he's like, hey, can you drive me out to the 8th green? I'm going to take care of the snake. I'm like, no problem. So I get him in the cart. He's like, take me to my car. He drives like a Lincoln Town car, like straight up mafia car. He goes in the glove compartment and he gets out a pistol. Like literally just in the glove compartment. And we're riding down to the 8th hole with his pistol in his hand. Like
it's like my cousin Vinny.
Guy. And we drive out to the 8th hole and the family's there and he comes up, he says, no, nothing to worry about, folks. He walks over to the snake and just leans over and shoots it in the head.
Really?
Like point blank range to a freaking huge 3.5-foot water moccasin and just, divot like right through its head. Just boom, the thing flips over. And he's like, we take care of that, and just like slides it into just right through the head, assassinates this snake. We're like, oh my god! And then he just like leaves it, pushes it off to the side, and he goes, all right, you guys, use good, we drive him back.
Where do you think Vinny is now?
Away. I have no idea, but I love that guy, and it was like I've never seen someone, point blank assassinate a snake with a pistol before. Yeah. There's so many more efficient ways to kill a snake or remove a snake like that. But to him, that's what he knew.
There were days that the range picker, the caged one, was broken at my club, and so then they would just have me go out like on a regular workhorse, which is like basically a small truck, and do it. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, guys, I don't want to. I'm gonna get hit, and they're like, you'll be fine. And I was like, no, I need like a helmet or something, and they gave me like. It was like a hard hat sombrero. That was it. And the second everyone saw me with that thing on, they were like, we have to try to hit him.
A shot.
Yeah. And I was just dipping and dodging and weaving, dude.
That's so funny. The other thing, and we can move on from this, but this has been a fun diversion actually. Yeah. The other thing that our carts had governors on them,
Same with ours.
But if you tapped the gas pedal, you could like defeat the governor. Yeah. So like when you were going down a hill, it would start to slow you down, and you could just kind of tap it with your foot, and it would just like you would somehow cut the governor out, and so you'd just be flying. Like, we had huge hills and stuff, and I mean it was like the fact that I never rolled one of those carts was insane. But you used to just rip on those, and we just the cart boys all got really good at just like tap 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 to like keep it going without the governor. That was the other thing I remembered.
Have you ever rolled a cart before?
Once.
Yeah?
Yeah, once.
I was in a cart that got rolled.
Oh.
I was a passenger.
Was there alcohol involved?
Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Alex Swartz did it.
Okay.
In between 11 and 12 at the Carmel Valley Ranch.
Oh, there you go.
So, it happens. But was it your fault that when you rolled it?
Yeah. I mean, it's at least somewhat justifiable because we were playing in Las Vegas at Cascada. and it was in January, so it had gotten dark, and so there was like 2 foursomes and as part of this outing in this group, and so we were trying to get to the 18th hole. So we skipped like 16 through 16 and 17 to get to the 18th tee to try and play it. I mean, it was dark, like it wasn't even, but we're like, okay, maybe we can get in on 18. So we're skipping, and 17 at Cascada is like this downhill par 3 that you tee up, you're at the top of the hill, the tee box is there. And then you drive down into this like wash, this like arroyo, this desert arroyo at the bottom. And then you drive back up to get to the green. And it was very clear that it was designed to like assume that you're going to stop at the tee boxes and then drive down and make this really sharp turn and then go up to the green. But because I'd never been there before, and we were skipping the hole. So we didn't stop at all. We just like cruised full speed past the tee box. We go down this hill, and then all of a sudden it's dark, and I see it's like a 90 right turn. And I'm like, oh no. So I slam on the brakes, and we're like, we're not going to stop. And so I turn it sideways, and we slide sideways into the curb and roll over into the ravine, like into this like rock cactus filled ravine. It rips the roof off the cart.
Whoa.
Clubs go everywhere. None of the clubs broke, which was crazy. And neither of us were like seriously injured, which was also really fortunate. But it did. I was wearing, I'll never forget this. I was wearing a pair of like leather Nike golf shoes, and something literally split the shoe down the middle, like through the leather, and it like pulled the fibers up on my sock, but like didn't cut my foot at all. And if it would have been like, slightly deeper, I would have probably like lost my foot. It was crazy. I mean, just sheared, like someone took scissors and cut through the shoe, through the leather, just like folded open like a clam. It was wild.
Guardian angel on the golf course.
Yes. So.
Well, this has been a fun little sojourn.
Yeah.
Going, walking down memory lane of our golf journeys in the golf industry, I suppose.
Yeah, we were in the industry before we were in the industry.
I know.
Now we're in the biz.
There was a time in which I was like, I'd like to get into golf course architecture and design. Mm-hmm. Where do I go do that? And I think my father was like, I think you kind of need to be like an ex-professional to do that. And I'm like, yeah, that checks out probably.
See, my thing was like, I actually came to golf course architecture like pretty late. I didn't get into that until 10 years ago when I read the Fundamentals of Golf Course Architecture. I think it was Jeff Shackelford who wrote that book, which is, by the way, an awesome book. And then I started noticing, actually playing Rustic Canyon for the first time when I moved to LA was the first time I really was like, because to me it was all about condition, because I grew up on, not super nice courses and munis. And so like, if the course was well conditioned, it was the best course I've ever played on. That's all I cared about. Fast greens, really good conditioning. And so even when I play like resort courses, or I'd go on a trip with my like uncle and my dad, and we'd play like Whistling Straits, we did that once. All I really cared about wasn't the architecture, but just was like the conditions and how nice it was. But then playing Rustic Canyon, I was like, why do I like this so much? What about this is so interesting to me? Because the conditions are fine, but it wasn't amazing. And then that kind of really got me into like the architecture of a course that clearly stood apart from like anything I'd played before. And so, now I'm like, I love that stuff. And I actually give a lot of credit to the Fried Egg and Andy Johnson, who kind of like led the charge of that in terms of golf media. But yeah, no, it's, I used to want to be like a assistant pro. I always figured like, when I went to New York and started working in the media industry and I was trying to find a job, my fallback plan was like, I could probably pass a PAT and go get a job as like an assistant pro. And there was always a part of me that was like my release valve of like, if the real world was too hard, I could just like go and become like a golf pro somewhere and work at a golf course. And I was like, I was totally prepared to do that. I would have been like, probably, my own mind, like a failure and disappointment. Not that that is a failure job, but just like I was trying to go be a real Hollywood person. And, but I was like, I think I could really be excited about getting to a golf course like pre-dawn every single day for the rest of my life, and being able to like go out and play, teach people and work in a pro shop. I was like, I always had that to fall back on. So anyway.
Well, it does seem like a pretty sweet gig. And for a high school kid to go work the range and it being the best gig I've ever had, there's nothing like working at a golf course.
No.
And there's a world in which like, sometimes you'll go to these really nice courses and you'll run across like this older caddy and you're like, tell me about your life. And it's like, yeah, I'm retired. I kind of just want to be out here. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, really? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And he's like, yeah, it's great. I get to walk. There's like a bunch of guys at Cypress who are like, yeah, I'm a retired doctor. I like to be out here. And it's good for my heart. Anyways.
Yeah. I had a caddy at National last time I was out there who was a high school basketball teacher or coach. Yeah. And he had retired from teaching, but he was still the coach. So he's like men's basketball coach and caddy at National. And like, by the way, coach as a caddy, elite.
Oh yeah.
Because like I was so fired up for that entire round, and he was so good at giving like constructive feedback and like getting me fired up to like, it's a birdie hole.
Yeah.
Douchebag moves. All right.
All right, time for our segment, Can't Knock It, brought to you by Knock Around, proud partner of the Vanity Index podcast. These guys make seriously amazing shades, and now they're the official eyewear of the PGA Tour.
So I'm rocking the Bright Sides here, Wells. They also make a wide selection of performance shades. They're designed to heighten contrast and definition and actually help you see the greens more clearly. It's wild how much detail you can pick up.
If you want to try a pair, head on over to knockaround.com/golf. Use the code VanityIndex20 for 20% off your first order. Again, that's VanityIndex20 for 20% off your first order. Some exclusions applied. Definitely worth checking out.
Hey,
okay.
one more thing. You know what else is 20?
What's that?
Knock Around.
Oh, I know. We just made a video for them.
20th anniversary of Knock Around sunglasses. Congratulations, Knock Around. That's awesome.
Oh, it's been around for a long time.
Have, and it was started, I guess he started it right out of college, like as a 23-year-old.
Really?
The guy, the founder, started, was like wanted to make affordable sunglasses that were cool. And I think he's achieved that. So we love our friends at Knock Around. So happy 20th
Happy
birthday.
20th birthday.
I think you said in the video where you're a year away from being able to get a drink with them.
Yeah.
Cheers. That was pretty clever. Like you're too smart, man. That was good. I was like, that was good. All right, what do we got?
So this is what you want?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Chad sent this to me, and he has retweeted a burner account, and it just says "good tweet."
So there's been this meme floating around on the internet where it's like a map, and then there's like different quadrants. So it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and it's like it started, I think, as like if you could only eat food from one of these regions, like where would you be? And it was like a globe map. And then there was that people started doing it for the USA for food. And then he only hits home runs. My favorite burner account, VJ's Burner, make that VJ sing, is once again elite tweet. He said, for the rest of your life, you can only play golf in one of the regions below. Unlimited budget plus access to any course you want to play whenever you want. Which one do you choose? So for the audio only listeners, we're looking at a map of the United States. There is a kind of point in the middle that I would say is at the border of Kansas,
Nebraska, and Iowa.
Yeah, and Iowa. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 8 quadrants that kind of extend out like a star from each of them.
Yeah, so like A goes from like Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Minnesota, and like Nebraska. And then B is just like, it's like basically
Michigan
Yoopers.
it's like Michigan and Wisconsin, which has some elite golf. So I think that's a pretty good, pretty good one. And in Illinois, I think that might actually get Chicago in there. Yeah, so that's good.
And then C looks pretty elite. It's got, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. It's got a lot of New York, a lot of New England courses, it looks like.
It's got the good parts of New York. It's got Long Island.
Yeah.
And it's got like anything south of the city. It's got PA, so you get Pine Valley. It actually goes all the way down to south of Virginia to get the top of North Carolina. So you might even get like Wade Hampton and Cashers and all that. D is kind of like what you think of as the classic South. So it's, it's parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, the rest of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and then the East Coast of Florida. So I think Seminole would be playable if you were down in D. That's got obviously Augusta, Peachtree, all of that. Pinehurst, I think, would be in D. E is what I would call the Deep South. So that's Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. F is Oklahoma and Texas for the most part, maybe a little bit of Kansas. G, another like maybe a low key good answer is like mostly New Mexico and Arizona. So you get year round golf there. And then H, wrapping it up, is Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and California, mostly California.
So it's tough, but you've obviously thought about this a lot more than I have. I want to hear what your answer is.
Yeah, so I immediately am like, the only answer for me is C.
Yeah.
So just getting like the golf in the Northeast is just so good. If you had limited budget and access, and you could go play Pine Valley whenever you want, you go play Wingfoot, you go play Sleepy Hollow, you can go out to Long Island and play, Shinnecock and National and the Bridge and all of those things, and Deepdale. I mean, all of that. Plus, you get that North Carolina stuff. So then I guess you get some of Indiana and Ohio and Pennsylvania. I mean, it's just the golf, the old golf courses there and those clubs are just so good. And the knock. So when I tweeted this, I got some pretty good engagement on this tweet at picking C, but everybody was like, that's crazy because you can only play golf, 4 months of the year. It's under snow. So like you're really only getting 8 months of golf, to which I say posh. No, pshaw. Wrong.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Like even if you're only playing 8 months of the year, it's still the best golf in the world, I think. But I would surmise that it's not snowing in Virginia and North Carolina, so you're going to still be able to get year-round golf. And I'm not quite sure if you'd get Wade Hampton, but if you had Wade Hampton down North Carolina, then you're all set. Like you can go there all winter long; it'll be great. And then, so anyway, so that would be my choice.
Okay.
With no question. What would you pick?
Okay, so I think I immediately, as a kid who grew up in California, thought H looks pretty great, right? Like I can play basically everything in California, except maybe looks like Torrey Pines.
Yep.
And then you have Nevada, so that means that gives you Vegas, and then like
Reno, Tahoe.
yeah, and then into Utah, which gives you St. George or Mesquite, which has a lot of great stuff, and then Colorado's got some amazing golf courses. But the more that I look at this, I agree with you. As someone who's now been having to like hang out in the Northeast, C is probably the right answer. But I'm going to go with all the people who are talking trash about not being able to play 12 months out of the year. I think D, if I can play any golf courses in the country, D gives me Georgia. So that's a lot of really good golf.
Yep.
South Carolina and North Carolina, a lot of Florida. And then Tennessee's like sneaky good with golf now. And it's like, it's on the rise. I think I'm going with D.
I think D. I mean, as a Southerner, it pains me to say D or to not say D. But I've been smitten by how good the golf is in the Northeast.
You're not wrong.
And you also get Boston actually in this one, so you'd get like your Brooklines and your Hunt Club, Myopia Hunt Club. Oh God, so good. But yeah, I could be maybe talked into D, especially because you would get Seminole. So you'd get like, the East Coast of Florida, you get Seminole, you get all those courses, you get TPC Sawgrass, you get kind of the east side of it. Here's a fun little alt on this.
Okay.
What do you think is the worst letter?
See, I think G.
G?
Well, I don't know.
So G is like Arizona,
New Mexico. I don't like playing in the desert.
Yeah.
So like that's just for me. That's just not that appealing.
Right. See, I would go E as the worst because I just don't know how much great golf there is in like Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and like those. They're just going to be hot and humid. It's like deep South courses.
Yeah.
Kind of flat. It's sort of everything I don't like about Georgia courses down there, but like worse. You don't have Augusta. So to me, I mean, no offense to our good friends that live in Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, or Louisiana, but I think I could leave that one out. The other one that is going to maybe get me is hot water, but like F, like I don't love Texas golf.
Yeah, me neither.
Like it's okay. There's like Brook Hollow is an awesome course in Dallas. I played like Dallas National.
Sure.
It's a lot of fun, but it's like, I don't really love it. And I just like, there's not compared to like C, the Northeast, or even like the deep South D. I could leave Texas.
It's funny though because Texas makes good golfers though because it's windy and it's tough, and so like so many great golfers. It's either you come from Texas or you come from California.
I know, and there's such great golf like culture there, but also like great land for golf. It's like rolling hills and stuff. I don't understand why there's not. I mean, I guess maybe it's like there's just more tradition and history on the East Coast.
Yeah,
and Texas was just like ranch land, for the most part, but yeah, no, this is a fun one. I like this one a lot.
All right, time right now before we call up Pau Gasol, our segment we like to call Overheard from JLab. From the lab to the course, JLab Tech is trusted by the pros with gear engineered in the lab, built for every practice, every flight, and every moment you need to lock in.
I've been using a ton of JLab stuff. I got a big trip coming up. This is our last episode we're recording before I leave for New York for the Ryder Cup, so we're going to talk to Pau a lot about the Ryder Cup stuff. But I've been using all the JLab gear. I got the Bluetooth headphones all charged up for my flight cross country. JLab delivers headphones, earbuds, Bluetooth speakers, and more designed for life and respectful of your budget. So look for the blue box at retailers everywhere or shop jlab.com. And we appreciate their support.
All right, what have you overheard, Chad?
Okay, so I'm working on a new scripted TV show that's set in the world of golf, and so we're doing some cameos again. So we're kind of running back the Happy Gilmore machine and doing some cameos. And we had a scene where we needed a kind of golfer from like the 80s, 90s, like an iconic kind of older golfer that could tell a story at a funeral. So it was originally written, I think, into the script as like Hale Irwin, but I was like, one, like Hale, we'd have to fly him in. We wanted someone a little closer. So I went with Gary McCord. So Gary, I'm like iconic mustache,
yeah.
Great storyteller. Like I was like, he's going to be great in this scene. So So I brought Gary in, and the day before we went and shot, we went over to the club, and he was bored in his hotel. He said, "Can we go get some food and have a drink?" So we went over to the club. Ended up being sitting outside on the putting green on the Adirondack chairs, having a couple beers. It was like me, him, a handful of members, and Richard Kind, who happened to be there. Our good friend
Friend
Richard
of the
Kind.
show.
And watching the two of them like one up each other on stories was stuff out of like a legend. And I did not know this, but apparently Gary McCord was the technical advisor for Tin Cup. So we got a lot of good stories about like working with Rene Rousseau and Kevin Costner. And of course, Richard Kind was like, well, I was in Rene Rousseau's first ever on-screen film. She was a short film. I played a Russian gangster, and she was like my girlfriend. And it was her first time on screen. She was a model, and her agents thought she might be a good actor, so they put her in, and he said she was great. So it was just watching the two of them go back and forth. But Gary McCord told a story that I had never heard before, and I thought was absolutely hilarious. So he said back in the they still play a tournament in Memphis, but this is a tournament in Memphis at it's got to be like early 90s. And he said it's like 1,000 degrees in Memphis, super hot, he's sweaty. He's like, I'm wearing these like horrible polyester long pants that were like plaid. He says they get on the third hole, and he bends over to pick up his ball off the green, and he hears his pants rip from the top all the way around to the bottom, around
From
the family
tail.
jewels, tip to tail, splits wide open. And as he tells the story, he's like, I've been fighting a little low left miss, so I'd been at the range all week. I've been grinding it out. I hadn't had any time to do laundry, so I didn't have any underwear on.
Oh,
So
no.
he's free balling. So immediately splits tip to tail. He slams his legs together, and he's just hanging loose in the breeze. And he immediately goes to his caddy. He goes, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I split my pants." He's like, "Well, what's the big deal?" He's like, "I'm not wearing any underwear." He's like, give me the rain gear." And his caddy's like, "It's 100 degrees, like, and it's sunny. The rain gear's in the car. It's like 5 miles away at the caddy parking lot." So he asked the other caddies, he's like, "You guys got any rain gear?" They're like, "No, you crazy? It's 100 degrees." So he's trying to figure out what to do. And he was playing with a guy who I forget his name, but he was 100% like Native American Indian. And so he's looking at him, and he's like, "I got an idea." So he goes to his caddy, gives him a towel. So he stuffs the towel into the front, makes a loincloth, puts it in the front of his pants, towel's dangling down to his knees, goes and borrows another towel from another caddy, puts it on the back. So he's got a loincloth on the front, a loincloth on the back, a dirty golf towel. And he's like, at the time I was fighting this low left miss. And so in order to make my golf swing and not have my jewels come flying out and the boys come, flying out everywhere, I had to like keep my lower body super quiet. And so I get on the next tee and I like stripe it right down the middle. And then I hit my iron shot and I like flush it. And he said, all of a sudden we get to the 9th hole and my caddy goes, "All right, I'll stall here. You run into the pro shop and go buy yourself a pair of pants." He's like, "What are you talking about? I'm 4 under par. Like, this is the best I've played all week. Like, I got to finish it out." So he plays the rest of the round in his loincloth. And he said every time he'd bend over to like pick up a ball on the green, he'd have to like tuck down and like, all demure. And he ended up shooting 66 with a loincloth on. So I was like, that is one of the greatest golf stories I've ever seen. And I was like, "Is there any footage of it?" He's like, "No, they didn't do video. There was no video on early rounds." He's like, "Ain't nobody were following me." So anyway, I just love that story from Gary McCord. We'll have to have him on the show for sure.
God, I would love that.
You know what he is too?
What's that?
He's a professional magician.
Stop. Listen, I wasn't ready for that answer.
Producer, technical advisor, broadcaster, golfer, professional magician.
Loincloth wearer,
Yes.
professional magician. Quick break on the Vanity Index podcast. When we come back, Pau Gasol will be joining us. Do not go anywhere. Professional magician.
One of a kind.
Jeez. All right, welcome back to the Vanity Index podcast. It's powered by JLab. Man, I'm excited about this one. Today's guest is one of the greatest to ever play the game of basketball. Hall of Famer, 2-time NBA champion, 6-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, and an Olympic medalist. He's not just a legend on the hardwood. He's a proud Spaniard, a global ambassador for sport, and a philanthropist whose foundation is changing lives around the world. Off the court, he's caught the golf bug, and that's why he's here with us today. And with the Ryder Cup coming up very, very soon, I assume he's going to be showing some international pride, just like what he showed in the Olympics. We had to get him on just to be warned. He's very, very tall. So I assume that his gimmies are a little bit longer than yours. Thrilled to have on the Vanity Index podcast, Pau Gasol. Pau, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Wells and Chad. Great to see you. Yeah, definitely my leather is a little further away than most people's leathers. So, but I love putting, so I don't mind cleaning up. So it's all good.
Yeah, I'm going to brag about your golf game for a second. So you and I have played a few rounds together. I will say the first time I ever played golf with Pau was at Pebble Beach, which was pretty awesome. But not only that, it was like we played a sevensome wolf match with like a whole bunch of people jumping around on the golf course. We were at this outing where we kind of had the run of the place, which is a lifelong dream for any golfer. And the fact that we got to do it and I got to play with Pau, incredible. He has a gorgeous golf swing. If you haven't seen him, go look him up on video. He's going to be playing in the celebrity match of the Ryder Cup, so you get to see his swing up close. But I had to try out one of his irons, and let me tell you, his 5-iron is longer than my driver, and it is amazing that you can move it the way you do, standing so far away from it. So tell us about how you got started in golf. Have you always played? Because your swing looks like you've been playing forever.
No. Thank you, Chad. You're very kind. And I appreciate you. But no, I started playing golf during like a lot of new wave of golfers did during the pandemic, during the confinement. When everything kind of shut down and there was not much else you could do outside, and you were supposed to. You could go outside for, I guess, essential exercising and moving, and golf was considered that. So after a few months of my brother-in-law going to golf pretty much every single day, and he's like, "Come on, you got to try." They even ordered me clubs out of it was Amazon or Amazon, like extended clubs, the longer clubs that they could find on Amazon. They got me a set shipped to the house. I said, all right, okay. I'll try it, right? So I tried it, and obviously it was a struggle. It was real ugly. And I could see, my brother-in-law that played and others, they were hitting the ball pretty well. I was like, okay, I got to be able to figure this out, right? This cannot be this hard. And guess what? I found out it is this hard and harder. So I started playing. But I also started discovering how much more the golf of golf could give me, and I didn't even anticipate any of it, right? So for me, just being out, I was also in the middle of rehabbing an injury, a bad injury in my foot. So being out on the golf course, walking on grass, being outdoors, it was great just to begin with. Then obviously you have the challenge of hitting a ball that is sitting there still, and you try to control how you hit it and when you hit it and how and where to go and all that, and the more you try to control, the worse it is. So you have to let go. Then you have to build a structure of a swing, which I did not have. And if you don't do that at the beginning, you pick up all kinds of bad habits. Mm-hmm. Bad mistake. So then you start realizing, okay, maybe I should take a couple lessons. You take a couple lessons. You cannot have enough lessons, I guess. But then I started, picking up lessons on YouTube, right? And I said, okay, YouTube.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, oh yes, and oh no, all combined. So then the YouTube space, there's some good stuff. There's some good coaches out there. They share some good stuff, so yeah, it was been a process. And I got to know a lot of people. Got to know and played in amazing places and golf courses. Then you have the competitive kind of part of it too, which is fun. The social aspect of it is great. I in my career, being a professional athlete, you learn to kind of like protect yourself, distance yourself. Everybody wants to hang out with you. Everybody wants a piece of you. So you kind of, build a wall around you. And golf kind of breaks that wall down immediately, right? The sport brings you together. You're out there. You spend a few hours together. and doesn't matter what you do or what you don't do, what you have done or what you haven't done. You're out there and you're hitting the golf ball just like everybody else. So it's been great. It's been really great.
We always start the show with asking our guests what their index is. I also like to know where you play your golf out of and what you're gaming in your bag.
Mm-hmm. Okay. My index right now is a 9.8. So it's what a lot of people call a very dangerous handicap. Chad
I've gambled with you before. It's very dangerous.
Chad has suffered the consequences of that handicap.
Oh yeah.
So I want to definitely improve it, but and I've improved it. I've been lower and stuff. The interesting thing about handicap here, which we talk about, which I love. By the way, I love the name of your podcast, Vanity Handicap. It's amazing because you see that a lot in golf.
Oh yeah. Do you want to name names for us real quick?
Oh no, I don't want to point fingers. I've seen it a lot, and I've seen no, definitely Chad is. But it's interesting because because most golfers, recreational golfers, play match play, right? So you play match play, and also how the handicap system works mostly here. It's like you can net double. Net double is almost the maximum that you can get. But a lot of golfers, recreational golfers, you could get a quad at any point, at any round, or more for that matter. And we've seen it even at the professional level. But it's like, it's just a double, So it's really already a bad handicap kind of thing, It's a vanity handicap no matter how you look at it, whether you do it purposely or intentionally or not. Obviously, the gimmies are another way to, inflate your ego. It's like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, pick it up. You're good. I say, there's people. I mean, you don't finish the pick it up part, and it's already there. Or the good, the 4-letter good. And it's and boom. The pick up. It's unbelievable. So it's So then you go and play actually tournaments, and you play stroke play, and then and all of a sudden, I was like, oh, geez, I shot. You have no chance. You have no chance, to compete under those circumstances because of how the system, is. So I found out a lot more how, instead of a, whatever it is, 9 or 10, you end up being more of a 13, 14 than what you actually are. Especially, again, in different formats when you play real golf. So it exposes you no matter what. It's just you have to be graceful and understand that this is not what you do for a living. You do this for fun. I always say every day on the golf course is a great day. Just go out there, have fun. Don't be too hard on yourself, and take it for what it is. And
where do you play your golf out of, pal?
I play. I'm a member at Sharon Heights here at Menlo Park because it's where my wife's family have been members there for 3 generations. So we're members there. I'm a member at Olympic Club as well. Downtown member on the waiting list for full privilege member. It's kind of fun. All these terms. It's kind of like fancy. They make you, feel really important by paying a lot of money to play a golf course. And then I'm also a member at Cloud Club, which is a fun, great course and stuff. So, and then I'm a member also in a couple of clubs in Spain, near Barcelona, which they're giving me honorary memberships, which are great. There's no, you don't have to pay dues, you don't have to pay entry fees. It's amazing. I like those. Come on, guys. But anyway, yeah. So that's usually where I play. But I play anywhere. I play munis. I play anywhere. It's really about the company, and I love different challenges, different courses, different layouts. It's an adventure. It's an experience.
Wells, how many honorary memberships you got, my man?
I got 0 on the books right now, but
you gotta be an international sporting hero from a country honors its sports heroes. I feel like you gotta maybe we'll put that second act for you, and you'll go become a sporting hero and get some honorary memberships. That's awesome.
That would be nice.
I do love Cal Club, Pau. Like I've never actually played Olympic. Obviously, just had the USAM there. But Cal Club's like one of the coolest hangs in golf. I feel like that course somehow is underrated. Like it's somewhat under the radar compared to Olympic and SF Golf Club, and then obviously everything out on the peninsula and Monterey, Cypress, Pebble, all those. It's such an awesome place, and the hang is elite. That's where Steph Curry's there too, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and there's a guy who's like, I think he's second year on the PGA Tour, Isaiah Salinda. He was from there, right? And I remember when last time I was playing there, he had just come off. I think he shot like a 61 or something like that. And it's fun to see Isaiah having success. But yeah, Cal Club, like one of the best kind of underrated golf clubs in the country, I think, and such a cool hang. So yeah, you're lucky to be a member there.
We have that Venturi program where we have all these great talented college golfers that we provide access to our club, unlimited access, and Isaiah is one of our Venturi members. Kevin Velo is another one who was also earned his PGA Tour card this year, and they both played well just now in the last tournament this weekend in Napa. So yeah, great guys. We get to play with them. I got to play a few times with them, and again, my 10 handicap has done some damage to them. They gave me a lot of strokes. They do have to shoot 61 to have a chance. So that's tough. But great guys, a great group of guys. Just a beautiful place, beautiful golf course here in the Bay Area.
Have you played with a lot of the Spanish players? Have you played with Rom and Sergio and all the other sporting icons from Spain? Who do you guys ever get together and just like go take it out on the golf course?
I've played with John at a Pro-Am in Valderrama. I played with Sergio at his home course in Castellón, where he has his golf academy. And then I played with Rafa quite a bit during the summers, and he's a grinder. You've seen his swing probably on videos and stuff, but he makes it work, man. And he's a competitor. He's consistent. He's one of those guys he's the guy that only wants to play metal, stroke play with me. So I was like, all right, we'll play whatever you want to play. And he's like, I'll give you whatever strokes you think you deserve and stuff, but that's what's going to be it, right? So obviously he has the upper hand with that, and he has won most of the times that we played. So yeah, we get all together at the same time. I'm going to try to get him. Schedules are tough, right? I mean, golf schedules at the pro level are tough. Even now with Live Tour, that you have a little more flexibility. Obviously, John and Sergio live in the U.S. in different parts of the country. When I also get more time, it's more so in the summertime, and we're in Spain, so it's kind of hard to bring everybody together. I hope we get to, at some point, and just kind of like have fun. Now, Carlos Alcaraz, it's become a great golf avid fan and player and stuff, and hopefully I'll play with him here now that this week in the Labor Cup in San Francisco that they're coming here. So hopefully I'll play with him this week if our schedules allow. And but yeah, golf is growing, man. It's thriving, and it's awesome to see.
Let's talk about the Ryder Cup, which is coming up. Obviously, the Spaniards in the Ryder Cup have been notoriously a problem for us Americans. My question, one, is what makes Spaniards so good at freaking golf? Because there's a lot of famous, amazing golfers. And then you see the other guys like you and Rafa who are like picking it up. What is it about Spain? Is it just, do you guys have a lot of courses out there? Are you able to play? And then I want to get your thoughts on what's going to happen this year at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, well, I think to me, there's a figure in golf, in Spanish golf, European international golf, that I think impacted our golf and our golfers, which is Seve Ballesteros. I didn't know much about golf growing up. It's not that there's a lot of golf courses in Spain. I think there's some, especially in the south. There's a lot of golf courses in the south of Spain. There's some also around the country, but golf wasn't super followed. It wasn't a top sport followed in Spain growing up. But Seve definitely put it in the map for us. And I started understanding more the impact of golf globally when I went out of Spain, actually. And people were asking me about Seve. And I met Seve in 2003. I think it was 2003. I believe it was 2003 at a royal wedding of our now king and queen, who at the time were prince and princess. So I met him, and he approached me, and he told me how proud he was of me for representing our country and being a great ambassador. So I was like, and he didn't have to do that, you know, and so that meant a lot to me, and it has meant more and more as I've gone forward in my life, and also gotten fallen in love with the game of golf. So I think Seve had a lot of impact on then Jose Maria Olazabal, after Miguel Angel Jimenez, then on Sergio, then to the other now, the John, Ram, and I think there's a legacy and an influence in a chain, that goes from one player and generation to the other. I think the success that Sergio, Seve, Jose Maria, and John have had in the Ryder Cup, it's quite amazing. But I think it's all getting predicated, I think, from that passion that came from Seve, and our Spaniards are pretty passionate overall. We have a lot of emotion. We love life. We do things with passion, and I think that's something that is definitely evident. So yeah, I don't know how else. That's how I would explain it. And I love, obviously, for our success to continue to grow and see a new wave of young players coming up. I see now you see David Puig is another great young player. I think Angel Ayora in the DP World Tour will be another great top player in the world that you'll see more and more of. And hopefully we have also on the women's side, we have young players also that are coming up. They're great. There are two top amateur girls at Stanford. There are 2 and 3 in the world, I think, in the amateur standings, Andrea and Paula. So, and Carlota, obviously, she's our top golfer, was the hero of the Solheim Cup in Spain that we won too. I was there as an ambassador, and I was able to follow that match. Her match with Nelly Corda at the end, and how she finished was incredible, getting that final point. So it's great, man. It's just you gotta love it.
All right, so what's happening in the Ryder Cup this year?
What's happening? A lot. I mean, we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna be in the celebrity match, representing Team Europe, by the way. I'm gonna be what I think is gonna establish as the tallest pairing in golf history, with myself and Tony Kukoc. We're gonna be, so just I told the guys, you got to bring the Guinness record people here because we gotta capture this. Okay, this got to go in the books, and we're gonna have some fun and yeah, I'm excited to play Bethpage Black. I think even the celebrity match is only 10 holes, just to not prolong it itself. And from what I hear, is a pretty tough course, and I'm sure it's going to be very tough condition. I always seen videos on YouTube how they have that sign before you play the course. This is the hardest course in the world, or something. One of the hardest courses. If you make sure that you play to your level, or just I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like a warning, which you don't see very often. But yeah, we're gonna have fun. Our format is scramble, so it's best ball all the way. I'm playing. Tony's a great golfer. Never played with him, but I hear he's a Skratch golfer, so I have that going for me. And then the main event, which obviously is what we're truly excited about. I hear a lot about how Europe is gonna, after the performance in Italy, how they're gonna run away with it and they're gonna dominate and stuff. I don't see it so clearly. I think the U.S. has a great team. They have great players. They have the best player in the world. Obviously, that's also. I mean, they have Bryson is playing at an extremely high level too. See how other players step up. I think here it's also about team unity and bonding and pulling for each other and being fully committed. But I think the Team US could be ready to bounce back, and Team Europe will have to, play at a high level again if they want to retain the title. So I see a competitive one. I want a competitive match in Ryder Cup. I want to be excited and suffer until the last second. And the fans want it too. Give the fans what they want. That's what I'm about.
Love it. Well, we'll be out there, so we'll have to hang out and walk around and stress about it together. So Wells and I'll both be out there the whole weekend. So
I'm easy to find. So.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'll probably be able to spot you.
Maybe I'm like a mile or 2 miles away. They say, hey, there he is.
The Ryder Cup is such a great environment for fans too, because it's the one tournament you're allowed to walk inside the ropes if you've kind of got like a VIP pass, and you can't do that at any major because there's families are there, the assistant captains. It's kind of this cool inside the ropes experience. I remember that from Rome, so I'm very eager and excited to kind of get back out there. And we'll have to point the full swing cameras your way, pal, for one of those first tee shots and get you a little cameo in this season. So,
love that, by the way.
Well, we're excited about that. We're excited to hang with you out in Bethpage. We've got a rapid fire series of questions that we like to do with our guests, and then we'll let you go. But Wells, if you want to take him through the rapid fire vanity index questions, I'd love to hear Pau's answers for these.
My last question about the Ryder Cup before we get into rapid fire questions is that obviously more than most people what home field advantage can do for you as a team. How much of an issue is it going to be for the Europeans, and how much of an advantage do you think it's going to be for the Americans?
I think it's always good to play at home. I think it's a double-edged sword. It can be. But I think you have to utilize that to your advantage. Whether you're the home team or you're the away team, you kind of have to feed on that energy and get that energy to your favor. And I think you can create that energy while you perform and you compete. So I think that's just a way of getting the fans really involved and put some pressure where it needs to be. And then you see how the opponent reacts to it, right? How they handle it. But yeah, I'm excited I've never seen a Ryder Cup live in person as a spectator. I've seen it from, obviously from TV, which is always nice and stuff, and you catch a lot of stuff. But to actually feel it in person will be super exciting. And but yeah, you have to manage the, if you're at home, you want to get the crowd into it. You want to and create momentum, right? I mean, these are I think tournaments, specifically a 3-day tournament, that the momentum can be created and you have to build on it. And if you are able to build momentum, now you have a great advantage.
All right, you ready for some rapid fire questions?
I can't wait.
All right. Rapid fire questions with Pau Gasol. First one, would you like to walk or would you rather ride?
I'd rather walk.
Biggest golf pet peeve?
Slow play.
Favorite course you've ever played?
Augusta.
One course that you want to play but you haven't played yet?
Pine Valley.
Name your dream foursome, alive or dead.
Wow. Well, I guess Seve would be one. I guess Tiger would be two. And I guess Michael Jordan, so he's just kind of one of the original basketball players, to kind of took up the game and committed to the game and all of it. So I guess Michael would be my, that foursome.
That might be the strongest foursome we've heard thus far.
I was going to say, can you imagine that team match? Pau and Seve versus Tiger and Jordan? Wow. That's a good answer.
Current swing thought, Pau.
What is it? Current swing thought?
Yep.
Hinge the club. That's
hinge it.
Gotta hinge the club. Because sometimes if I get too stiff on my backswing, my takeaway, I just bring it in too much. So my takeaway, I have to hinge the club.
Gotcha.
That's kind of my swing thought right now.
Who do you wish you could hit the ball like?
Oh, man. I like Tommy Fleetwood. I like Tommy Fleetwood's swing and
Good answer.
That
Good
is-
answer.
Favorite club in the bag?
my 54 degree, or my putter. I guess my putter. My putter is my favorite. Yeah, that's
Deadly with that thing. Deadly with it.
Watch out if I'm on the green. Careful.
Yeah.
Favorite adult beverage in the course?
Water.
That's not an adult beverage, pal.
Well, it should be. Well, it should be. I don't drink on the golf course usually. I drink water. I hydrate a lot. I have waters. I have 3 bottles of water here. I just drink water. Hydrate.
Have you ever had a hole in one?
No.
What's the best score you've ever shot?
74.
9? You're a 9?
No, he's going to be like a 1 or a
Yeah.
Skratch here in like the next 3 years. You watch this pod. We'll be tracking.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Come
go
on.
ahead with you, Chad. Just no strokes. Just
At any time you want it, buddy.
one of my goals in life. Yeah, I bet.
All right, give us one word to describe your game.
I think just competitive. I think my game is competitive. I'm a grinder. I bounce back and I fight in every hole. I try to get myself back in and give me a chance. You can never really count me out until I put myself out off the tee. But usually I try not to do that. And but yeah, even if I'm in that position, I'm a recoverer. I recover well.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the Vanity Index podcast, brother. Love talking with you. Very excited to see you at the Ryder Cup. And is there anything that we didn't ask you or that you wanted to talk about, promote before we let you go?
No, I mean, to me, what's exciting about the game too is how I can continue to impact it in a positive way. I want to grow the game as well, just like you guys are doing in different ways. With tournaments, with initiatives, with philanthropy as well. Just making the game, growing the game, and making it more accessible. Kind of like removing some of the labels that maybe are more traditional, let's say, and just opening up and growing the game because it provides so many good things to individuals, to families, to communities. So I'm committed to doing that in different ways.
Well, thank you so much for coming on this show. You are a steward for not only basketball or golf, but just sports in general around the world, and it's awesome to have you on here. And as an American, it's hard for me to say, but good luck in the Ryder Cup this year.
Good luck back to you.
Thank you. Yes, play well.
Absolutely.
Thanks again, pal.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, nice to see you guys.